And we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome into the Flippin Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star, the Flippin Hippo, and this is episode 6 of Hangin with the Hippos. Tonight, I'm going to be interviewing Tim from Hex Treasures. Say hi to everybody, Tim.
Hello.
He's just waving. So if you're new to the Hangin with the Hippos series, it has a format to it. So I'm going to ask him 10 serious business-related questions about reselling, and they'll be answered in his expertise. And I try to have a variety of people on here that know about different things. Last week, we had Megan Mawhinney, who is an expert in jeans. Tim is an expert in vintage and antiques. Then after the 10 serious questions, I have 10 silly, goofy trivia questions for him to see how much he knows about dumb stuff no one knows about. And then I have 10 this or that questions. And I have a bonus question on both of those from Keith so that he can participate because he won't go on camera. And then Tim gets to ask me 5 questions, and then we open up the floor to the viewers. If you follow Tim here and you're new to my channel, again, my name is Star. I am one half of a team of 2 hippos that resell, mostly on eBay and Poshmark, some Amazon, Bonanza, local sales, and electronics. And if you don't know Tim, I don't know how you don't know Tim, because everyone knows Tim. His reputation precedes him. Let's see who's in the chat. Carrie Berry's mom is here. Sylvia's Treasures. Holly, hi. Wow. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Rhonda and Amelia, Etta, and Trina. Hey. And Trina wants to know if Tim's going to keep it Tim. Well, the thumbnail I put out on social media was Tim modeling a woman's fur stole. So that should tell you something. And welcome in, Jenny. Tim, are you ready to get started?
I've been just waiting for you to stop jabbing and ready to go. Like, I mean, that was good filler.
That was good filler. Yeah, he's definitely.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So the first question I always ask is, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been reselling? How did you get started? And are you full of time?
All right. So I'll start off. My name is Tim. I'm 5'10.5" on a good day. I'm an Aries. There we go. Good. She's drinking a drink. I was hoping to get her to spit it out. And if you guys don't know, I have a silent half, like, no, not necessarily silent, just off-screen half, Emily, like Star does. So, you know, I relay a lot of what's going on, and I'm like a 10th of a 2-part team. She's 9/10 and I'm the 1/10. I'm basically the social media guy over here. Reselling wise, when did we start? What did we start reselling? Was it the baby clothes?
I did it, yeah.
Emily started reselling, my wife, back in 2014. I was working full-time down in Tennessee. She was a stay-at-home mom, wanted to do something to kind of a mix between contribute and kind of just fill up some of her time. And the neighbor across the street was having a yard sale. And Emily went over there. We were buying baby stuff. Both of my siblings were having children. So we were buying stuff for them. And then my wife bought everything they had. It's like, hey, how much for everything here? So we went and bought everything. And what we didn't give to our siblings, my siblings.
It was actually junk. It was
yeah, it wasn't even good. So like, it was junky stuff. It had stains. It had rips. It was old stuff, but we sold it.
I sold it for a lot, like $50 for a Huggies box full.
Yeah, so it was a crazy amount, and she's like, "I'm doing this."
Crazy amount for me.
Yeah. You know, that was our first thing we sold. It was a Huggies box full, like a Huggies diaper box full of baby clothes. They were described appropriately. They were stained and whatnot, but they sold for a lot of money for us. You know, it just blew our mind that people were going to buy this crap. So we're like, we've got so much crap. We can make so much money. You know what I mean? Fred
says you're the eye candy.
I will take off my shirt right now.
Holly says you're the eye candy and Emily's the brains. And
right?
hi, Emily,
Holly knows what's up.
Hi. Okay, so number 2 is, what platforms do you sell on? Which is your favorite and your least favorite?
Okay. So eBay is my favorite. eBay is our number one, and Emily is right now the sole everything on eBay. I have a very minuscule part of eBay because I went back to work full time, and she has taken over eBay and done phenomenally with it on her own. But we also sell on. We just started on Poshmark again. You got sirens?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they
coming
caught
for
her.
me, but keep talking.
They gotcha.
They're coming for me.
We sell on Bonanza because there's an I'm gonna just throw this out there. I did a video on it. There's no reason not to sell on Bonanza. It pulls everything over and it keeps you. Everybody's like, you don't get any sales. I don't care if I don't get a single sale all year long. It doesn't cost me a dime and it's more exposure. There's a chance for a sale with me doing no work. I'm gonna take it.
You said it.
And we sell on Poshmark and Mercari, but eBay is by far my favorite.
eBay's your favorite. Okay, so I can't even read my own questions. What item or category do you sell the most of?
Right now, it's probably vintage glassware.
Right. I don't know if you heard her, but right now it's probably vintage glassware with, I'd say, clothing a close runner-up to second.
It's probably vintage clothing.
And staying with, we sell literally everything. And our story, how we source, we get a crazy amount of clothing for a very cheap price. But most of our clothing that we're selling right now is vintage clothing, is what's selling. We're selling a lot of vintage clothing lately. There's a little, sorry, Star, there is a little dot on my screen in my little box down here of my face, and it looks like I got just a big thingamajigger right here on my.
You do.
Yeah, I know the facial hairs there. I'm talking. I look like. Sorry. All right, there we go.
Hey, Green 30 Live, welcome in. Glad you made it. What is your favorite item to sell and your least favorite?
So me.
You don't sell nothing.
Oh, be quiet.
What do you like to sell?
I like to sell everything.
Your stories.
Yeah. What's your favorite item to sell?
I like doing the clothing. I like doing the vintage clothing because it's unique. Not everybody has it. Okay.
If you couldn't hear her answer is vintage clothing because it's unique. Not everybody has it. It's something that,
I'm talking like old stuff, like from the 60s or older.
I'm sure you guys can hear that. Me personally, I don't know what it is, but I enjoy, and we haven't sold one in a little bit, but I enjoy selling ashtrays. Like, I don't smoke. I don't, but there's a lot of ornate ashtrays we found. Remember the USA one? No. The stamped USA on the bottom. It was like glazed and it had this running, dripping paint on it. And we had it listed for like 8 months, but it sold for $50 or $60. It sold for a lot for an ashtray, and it was, it shipped first class. It was just really ornate, really cool, and I guess more along the lines of art than a tobacco product.
Yeah, we run into a bunch of ashtrays around here. Do you have it on mute? Because I hear myself.
No, I don't have it. I don't have it up at all.
Okay, it's gone now. I was getting feedback. Okay, so sorry, I totally derailed myself there. Some of the ashtrays that you find that are older or glass or souvenir-y, like Vegas or whatever, those are good to grab. Not those plastic ones everybody remembers their grandparents using.
No.
Hi, Donna. Thanks for coming. So what's your least favorite?
Honestly, I wouldn't say I have a least favorite thing to sell. If it's making me money, I'm happy. I wouldn't list it if I didn't want to sell it. You know what I mean?
Most things you pick up.
I don't.
Toys. I don't like selling toys.
I guess she doesn't like toys because of the cleaning. Oh, all right. Electronics is fair. So
I'm nervous about selling toys. The
aspect of getting it ready to list, I'd probably go with toys because there can be a lot of cleaning required. Like I just bought a lot of Nerf guns. I 7 or 8 Nerf guns for $1 a piece, and I'm gonna lot them up and sell them. And they're gonna be worth like $40 for 2 guns. I'm gonna do a couple lots like that, but there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done for those. Emily says hers is electronics because of the insecurities with it, with the possibility of being scammed, which is every time that we have somebody try to run a scam on us, it's been on an electronics item.
That's fair. I think most scams are on electronics. So number 5, your favorite place to source.
The share shop.
Is that where you get the bags for?
Yeah, that's our local community-run thrift store. It's all volunteer. It's all these old ladies. You know, like when I say old, I mean they're all like 90 or older. Okay,
no.
they're
like 70.
Oh, 70. Or excuse me, they're 70 or older, and you know they're the sweetest ladies. But everything's dropped off from. I mean, I don't even know how they. I actually just took a video. I'm going to put up this next week. Huh?
I volunteered there.
My wife volunteers there on occasion, but I just took a video to where people can see the actual size of the store. It's a decent sized store, and everything in there's a quarter, and everything's obviously donated. Nobody gets paid any money, and all the money that comes into the store goes back to the community to help families in need. So, it's kind of a 2-part. 1, we get crap crazy cheap, and 2, we're also helping the community. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. We used to have a local honey pot down the road. There's the feedback again. I do not know how to fix that. I'm kind of like...
I don't hear the feedback on your end.
They're saying they can hear it.
There it is.
They can hear it. Like I'm like testing 1, 2, 3. We used to have a local honey pot there. When we got back from Vegas last year, it was closed.
Oh no! What did you find out why they closed?
They just weren't making enough money. They went out of business. But they had just done a remodel too. They spent all this money remodeling the whole store and revamping it. February, March, April, May-ish, and then we got back at the end of July, and we went down there to go shopping, and the doors were shut. There was this sign on the door. We were really sad, but we knew a lot of the people that worked there. And so one of the guys that used to load stuff from donations was there actually taking stuff out of the store, and they were taking it to another one of their stores. And he told us it was just a bad location. He said that we were the only ones that ever really spent money in there. And it wasn't enough to keep them afloat.
Yeah, that's kind of like me and Emily. We're not the only ones that shop there, but I'm pretty sure that we keep them well.
Well, we thought we would, because that was the only place we went. We didn't go to the Benz. We didn't go to Goodwill because we got so much. We could list. Back then, I wasn't doing Poshmark, and I really wasn't doing YouTube. So between the two of us, we were listing 40 to 50 items a day, 7 days a week on eBay, and we thrifted enough just from there to do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we should have kept them afloat. I don't know how we did it.
They closed.
Yeah. And they were like 2 blocks down the road. So, I mean, we drove, obviously, because we bought enough that we needed the car.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, during the week when we weren't planning on stocking up, you could just walk down there and peek in and cherry pick and see what's new. Everyone that worked there knew us and held stuff back for us. They knew we were resellers. They didn't care. The guy that I told you that we knew that we saw, he would come follow me around the store like every 10 minutes and I would take stuff off the hangers as I shopped, and he would take all the hangers from me before I even went to check out. Wow. I miss that place.
my favorite thing to do, and I'm going to sound so cheap right now, because like I said, everything's a quarter that we buy. As I love taking out the garbage for them. I'll be like, oh, hey guys, can I take out your garbage? Are you good? Because they'll have, and you know, there's like a flight of steps, like 15 steps you got to go down to get outside to the garbage. And they're like, oh, thank you, bless your heart. Like, do you mind if I look through this first before I throw it all away? Oh, go ahead. And like, they get so much stuff, they literally just throw away like a lot. One of the things I got was a 1990, it was early 90s. It was a vintage Michigan you have University of Michigan Rose Bowl hat, and I got it in the garbage. And I actually, one of my favorite things now at work is I sell to everybody at work, like at my 9 to 5. Well, it's a 5 to 5, but at my 9 to 5, I'm like, hey guys, what y'all looking for? You like hats, huh? I got hats. You want some hats? Check out these hats. And one of my buddies at work bought my hat off me for $20. So
yeah, no fees, no shipping. I love it. We don't sell it to anybody out here, but we get a lot of inventory from people for free that know us. I wish we had more people we could sell to locally, just because no fee. Ouch, I just hit myself. My name is Star, and I'm an amateur, everyone, if you didn't know that. You have no fees, you have no shipping, and if it's your friend, they're probably not going to return it. Or even if it's just like an acquaintance, you know, they're not going to wear it to
return.
the wedding and try to return it. All right, number 6, your favorite task or job when it comes to reselling, and then your least favorite.
My favorite is everybody's favorite, obviously, and that's sourcing. I don't know a single person who says their favorite thing is anything other than the.
What other part of it do you do?
I do Poshmark. Thank you very much.
You shop. You transfer the listings. I already started. I already did.
Okay. No, so like seriously, as far as I mean, I don't know anybody that you'd ask. In my opinion, I mean, that's like the rush. That's everybody's rush. I always see that. What's your favorite part?
Listing. I am the one weird person. It's because I'm OCD. I know that's why. Sitting at a computer, using my templates, creating something, one after the other, all alike. That's my favorite. I know. Everyone thinks I'm so weird because listing is usually everybody's least favorite.
Yeah. Emily's is taking pictures. That's her favorite part about it, is taking the pictures. She's got all these different backdrops we've been ordering, and that's like her. We got a very expensive camera a couple years ago because we were doing photos at home. We've got property with the kids, and she's really into photography, and so that's her favorite thing. With me, by far, hands down, my favorite thing is buying stuff. I mean, I don't like I like selling it. I just wish it would sell on its own, and I didn't have to do anything.
And your least favorite?
Listing. Everything other than buying is my least favorite.
Having to sit with Tim. Why I went back to work.
All right. Share a good bolo with us.
A good bolo?
Yeah, and for those
uranium glass.
A bolo is
Yes, it is. Uranium glass has a 52% sell-through rate.
The right one.
All right, Emily wants me to do a different one, but I'll give 2. My first, and I just did the Mountain Dew hat.
I've been telling you.
I just did a little video on uranium glass. I love it. It's beautiful. It's vintage glass that glows. It's got a uranium compound in it. It's sodium diuranate. There's this whole thing, but when exposed to UV light, it glows. And after looking at it, without really going deep into it, just in the broad spectrum of all uranium glass, it's got a 52% sell-through rate. So each piece obviously is different. One sec, sorry. Anyways, but Emily wanted to share her bolo was vintage Mountain Dew. Was it the snapback trucker caps?
I just come across
it. We do a lot of hats, a lot of baseball caps. That's one of the things that we have a lot to list and a lot for sale right now. And she noticed when she was comping something else that she was seeing these vintage Mountain Dew hats that were comping very high, and she looked into it and they had a really good sell-through rate too. Most vintage hats do well, but vintage Mountain Dew hats definitely be on the lookout for.
All right. So uranium glass, and we're going to promote Tim's YouTube channel at the end. But if you're interested in learning about the glass, he does have a video on it, how to check it, how to make sure it's authentic. And then your vintage hats, especially Mountain Dew. Number 8 is to share a NOLO, which is the opposite of a bolo, a never ever buy.
That's a good one.
don't know.
I probably have to say Murano glass lamps.
No.
Damn, I'm trying to get everyone else off the market.
I
Don't ever buy silver beads.
Maybe like newer Barbies. Like people think Barbies and you think it's worth money. But a lot of people, it's hard to tell the difference between
that's
newer and older.
I don't know if that would be considered a NOLA, but that's what we're going to go with, because Barbies are obviously a bolo, vintage Barbies. But then you get your vintage off-brand.
If you don't have the time and you don't understand how to look into them, it can be very difficult to understand old versus new. New Barbies are not worth anything. Old Barbies are where the money's at. But if you don't know how to tell the difference, that's where the NOLA is. Don't even go there, because it's not worth.
More often than not, you're not going to find the diamond in the rough.
Okay.
Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I did. A train went by too, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
But I would have to tell you, if I found like a bag of Barbies for real cheap or Barbies for 10 cents, I would grab them all, bring them home, and learn.
We see them at Grab for $1-2 a piece.
Yeah.
I personally would not spend that much. You don't know how to tell the difference.
Yeah, but if you were, I think this one's going to be worth money at $1, it's worth that buy if you know. But that if you don't know for sure, you may be throwing that money down the drain.
Like she said, 25 cents. 10
Obviously, when you can get anything cheap enough, like I literally, when we were out thrifting this last time, there were like 5 or 6 things. I don't have service in my thrift store, and I'm like, you know what? I'm taking the risk because it's 25 cents. I will risk 25 cents on anything every single day of the week, to learn whether or not it's worth reselling.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this or not. Some of the viewers might. That's how Keith and I learned. We used to just go to the Ben's and the 99-cent day up here at our local one, and we bought everything, brought it home, and learned. And what was bad, we at least made our money back and a couple bucks on to turn around and buy the better stuff. That's how I discovered silver jeans. I happened upon them for 99 cents. So that's how we learned. We just bought
That's really good.
Cheap, brought it home, looked it up. It took like 2-3 months of doing it that way, of buying a ton of stuff to learn. So it might take some people longer because we're buying so much. But I always tell people, if stuff is cheap enough, I think that, time is money, right? And I feel like most thrift stores have really bad perception, and it takes forever to look anything up. So if it's cheap enough, bring it home and learn. If it's expensive, but you have a gut feeling, that's probably worth taking the time to comp. If it's expensive and you don't have a gut feeling, leave it, go to your car and check if you really feel like you need it. But don't stand around and comp everything. If it's a 10-cent pair of pants, take it home and learn.
Buy it.
Yeah. Okay, so number 9 is like my favorite question in these interviews. It goes along with the old adage, how we always say, do as I say and not as I do, or our parents said that to us. Is there something you do that you would advise others not to do, or something that you don't do that you advise others they should be doing?
All right. First off, let's definitely keep this limited to reselling, because there's so much I do I would advise other people not to do. Like, so much.
Oh, me too, for sure.
Okay.
We do a lot of clothing, $10 free shipping. That's not for everybody.
Yes.
Because we still is so cheap, and usually
exactly. And I'll repeat that. I'm sure you guys heard that, but what we want to have we do everything free shipping. We calculate shipping into the price of our item, and Tim is a walking warning sign. Thanks, Holly.
She ain't wrong.
We want to bump up our minimum price to $15 free shipping, but we have sourced so much stuff at such a cheap price that it's still worth it to us to sell at that $10 free shipping, because we still make a couple bucks on everything. And that's, if we just donate it back, to me, that's throwing money away. So we're not going to do that, but that's what I would say to do to anybody else. If you're only going to make a couple bucks on it, get rid of it, get something better in. but we don't live by that.
We have an entire clearance section in our store that's 99 cents with $8 shipping on it, so it's like $9. But I've already put the work into it. Photographs have been taken, the listing has been made. It's just been around for so long that I want rid of it. And we still make a couple bucks to turn around and get something better now that we've learned what not to get. It'll sit for too long. But I would tell other people, it might be dragging down your analytics in the back. It might be dragging, because if you get too much traffic without too much conversion and people buying, Cassini does see your store as being less desirable, and it can drive your traffic down and your results in the searches down. But I've always felt like at 1,900, 2,000 listings, we kind of offset that with the crap that we have. So I do that, but I would never advise other people to do it. It's just what we do because I'm greedy and I feel like I've already put the time into it. I want my buck back.
Exactly.
I want a couple bucks extra.
Exactly.
And I don't want to wait till tax time to get it. Because it is a write-off, people. If you do donate your stuff back, keep track of that. You can get a credit on your taxes for that.
I'm just going to do that. I'm going to buy in bulk from the thrift store, 25 cents a piece, buy everything, and then donate it and write it off at full price. I win! Yay!
Well, I wouldn't advise to do that. You're supposed to write it off.
No, don't. I think. See, that's one of the. Legal don't advice. Do that. I don't think that's good legal advice, people.
The one thing.
That's what I'm talking about. See?
The one person you should never ever try to cheat or lie to is the government or the IRS. Okay, number 10, the best piece of advice that you could give to another reseller, whether they're brand new or seasoned.
List.
That's a good one.
That's you know, and I've always, I don't know, I've never really believed in it for the longest time. And Emily's always been, you know, and I did a whole freaking video, like I thought it was a pretty good video on Cassini too. It was like one of the first videos I did on YouTube. And that was one of the things is you need to be active. I'm like, well, all right, if you say so, sure thing. I'll tell everybody else to do that. But there you go. I won't do it. But the more you list, the more you sell. It's something that we've noticed that Emily's always said. And we've seen it. There's been a day or two where she didn't list. She wasn't feeling good. No sales for the next, for the next 2 or 3 days. She started listening and they just start rolling back in.
You could see me emphatically agreeing over here. It's like that on any platform.
Yep.
If you're not active, you won't sell anything. If you are, you will. But I also think you get a bigger net. If you have 100 items, you're not going to be as seen as with 1,000. So you have a bigger net to catch more fish. Okay, we're going to move to the second part of the interview. These are the trivia questions. If you're in the chat and you want to play along and you have guesses, go ahead and type them in. That way, if Tim gets stuck, he can cheat and look in the chat for the answers. Emily can help you. There are a lot of nerd questions, though. These were very fun to put together. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready. This like I was born for freaking Jeopardy, yo.
Okay, can you name the 3 actors who most recently in live action portrayed Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland.
Yes. And the reason I said live action is because there was a recent Into the Spider-Verse cartoon. Do you know who voiced Spider-Man? This is a bonus follow-up.
I actually do not know who voiced Spider-Man. I haven't seen. I've seen all the memes from the movie, but I haven't seen the movie itself. We actually went to the theater. We were the only adults there. It was Jake Johnson. Most of you might know him from New Girl. He was in a sitcom called New Girl. Okay.
And I think he was in, what was the comedy with the guy who played Hawkeye? Tag?
Oh, that Tag movie? I've been wanting to see that, but I haven't seen it yet.
That's really good too. Okay. So your next question is, why was Spider-Man not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe until Tom Holland took over the role?
He was owned by Sony.
Gosh, I'm not even going to be able to stump you, am I?
Most likely, no.
Okay, bonus.
Emily's like, wait, who's Spider-Man?
Bonus. When did Disney and Marvel, or Disney Marvel and Sony agree to share the rights?
I want to say it was 2016.
It was February 2015. I stumped you.
2015. Okay.
February 2015, but they're actually sharing the rights. Disney did not buy them back. I thought they did. So when I was researching this question for you, I learned something too, because I really thought they bought them back, but they're sharing. Do you know, this is number 3, who owns the rights to the X-Men?
Who owns the rights to the X-Men? So,
question.
This one is, who owns them right now? Because I thought the rights just transferred over to the Disney Marvel franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you're asking? Who owns them? Right? Because that's my final answer, Alex.
It's a trick question. Marvel does own them as of March of this year. They bought them back from.
Trust me, I am a huge X-Men geek, and I've been freaking waiting for Wolverine to pull into the Avengers cinematic universe. Yeah. And I was very excited to hear that they acquired it.
Yeah, Keith is a huge X-Men nerd too. So Marvel bought the entire Fox, not just the rights to X-Men. I don't know if you knew that. They bought out Century Fox 21 or whatever it's called. They bought the whole company for $71 billion. Disney owns everything.
I just pull out my checkbook.
All right, number 4. This is going to be too easy for you. How old does something have to be vintage?
20 years, although, and it is 20 years. That is my final answer. But there are people who disagree.
Before you go and tell me that.
Okay.
So number 5, how old to be antique?
Antique is generally accepted at a century, at 100 years old.
Number 6 is exceptions to the 100-year or 20-year-old rule.
So the exceptions are the first in its class, the first thing that that came out, the first cell phone. Well, I mean, that's going to be the first MP3 player, the first typewriters can be antique, even though they're not at that 100-year mark. Nothing.
Yeah, that's right. It's if it was something first, and then I guess cars is what I Googled. I got when I Googled in computer.
Yeah, cars. You get your antique car plate at 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, cars considered antique at 20 years.
I actually had to Google this question. I knew there were exceptions, but I weren't sure what they were. And I'm like, I told Keith, I know Tim's going to know the answer to this, but I want to know the answer too before I ask him. So I did. All right, number 7. What is the capital of Michigan?
Lansing.
What is a popular food in Michigan that most folks usually would associate with New York?
Coney dogs.
Oh my God, you knew that?
Yeah,
I did. No, I told you.
No, because I didn't hear the New York part at first, and I'm like, well, there's a lot of popular food in Michigan, and I was thinking more along the Canadian side. I was thinking the poutine, pasties, which are up north. Poutine's Canada, but we're right on the border. And when you said New York, yeah, we've got a Nathan's Coney Island, I think, factory in Detroit where they make the you can buy. My family growing up, we used to buy bricks, like 10-pound bricks of the frozen of the chili and throw it in the freezer, and we'd like carve out chunks and throw it in a pan.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could find that. And it was like the Sonic's the closest I can get to a Coney dog. But yeah, I Googled what was the number or the top 5 foods in Michigan, and Coney dog was on there, and I'm like, I know most people associate that with New York rather than Michigan, so I'm going to ask you that. But Detroit deep dish pizza came up too. Someone said pizza in the chat.
Yep. We are kind of foodies. So.
What is the car capital of the world?
What's that?
What is the car capital?
Car capital of the world? It's going to be Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit, Michigan.
I would have to try harder with you next time. All right.
I'm being invited back. Yes.
Number 10. What city is popular for putting French fries on salads and other foods?
Ew.
That sounds disgusting.
It's not in Michigan.
Is this Michigan?
No, it's not in Michigan.
Oh. French fries? I don't know. That sounds like something in California.
No,
Thank you so much for the super chat, Marie, of $10. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's actually where I live. It's Pittsburgh.
That's Emily said it's probably where she lives.
They put
Like, no, Californians are weird. It's probably
on everything out here, bro. It's like I just called you bro because I got excited. Everything, bro. They put fries on steak salad, chicken salad. We got this new California taco shop here, and they have really good, authentic, like Southwest. I'm from Arizona originally. They have really good, authentic Mexican food, but they have a Pittsburgh burger with fries in it.
Oh
that's awesome.
Gross. I mean, they put them on everything. There's like a joke around here. If you put some fries on it, a Pittsburgher will eat it.
Have you ever had poutine?
No.
All right, it's fries. That's that dish I was just
Fries
telling you
and
about.
gravy.
It's Canadian. Fries and gravy and different cheese curds.
Oh, no, thank you. I'm good.
Oh, it's so good.
The word curd is just not, nope.
It's just like a little ball of cheese.
I don't eat balls.
I will put so many cheese curd balls in my face, you don't even know. Okay.
I don't even like cottage cheese. It grosses me out. Like the. All right, I have a bonus trivia question before we move on. It's from Keith. This one might stump you. This is going to see if Keith's the bigger nerd or you. Who is the strongest character in all the Marvel universe? So that includes the cinematic and the comics.
The strongest?
Me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am here, so does that count? No. The most. Is it the Watcher?
No.
Who is it?
The one above all.
Give me 1 second, because I swear to God, I just saw something.
I thought I Wikipedia'd it and took a screenshot because I did not. I did look it up.
It's the writer. That's who's the one above all is.
Oh, my son says he's the writer.
I heard the writer.
I thought the Watcher was. So Watcher has to be one step below then, because the Watcher is. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll concede defeat there.
Keith is a huge dork, though. So, Lisa just had steak salad for dinner. Yeah, like you can't even go to a diner here and order a salad. You have to ask them not to put fries on it. But I will tell you that it's pretty good. I've tried it. It's not something I'd want all the time, but it is good. That's my sometimes hand. All right, so now we're going to move into the this or that round. You guys can play along in the chat if you want. Tim, the point of this round is to go as fast as we can. So I want you to go with your first instinct. You have to pick one. You can't say both or neither. And you have to go with your first instinct, okay? You ready?
Yep.
Yard sales or estate sales?
Yard.
Flipping clothes or hard goods?
Clothes.
Iron Man or Captain America?
Iron Man.
Hot Thor or fat Thor?
Fat Thor all day long.
Mexican or Chinese food?
Chinese.
Milkshake or sundae?
Milkshake.
Horror or action flick?
What was that?
Horror, scary, or action movie?
I will go with the first one. Can I make the first one out? Action flick.
TV show or music as background noise while working?
Music.
Spring or fall?
Fall.
The book or the movie?
Book.
And Keith's bonus is Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
That's the only correct answer on that one. Mm-hmm. So that's the end of my questions for Tim. Now, did you bring 5 questions for me?
I did, but before I ask the 5 questions, Ask Keith if he's a fan of the Amalgam universe.
Are you watching? I don't even know if he's watching.
Do you know what the Amalgam universe is, Star?
No.
It's not one of your 5 questions.
No, I don't.
The Amalgam universe is a crossover between DC and Marvel.
I do not. I bet you
They did a series. They did a comic series where they merged like characters, and like Solomon Grundy and the Hulk became I want to say it was Skulk. They became one character. It was like a zombie Hulk, and they did all the characters and merged them together into their own new. It was awesome. But anyways, all right. So you ready for your first question?
Yes. By the way,
why are manholes round?
What?
Why are manholes round?
So the Ninja Turtles can get out.
Why couldn't they get out square ones though?
Because you can't put a round peg in a square hole. And turtles are
Yeah. The other way around.
I don't know why they're round. So the pizzas go right down for the turtles?
Right. Well, what I found out was because you cannot a round manhole, you can't turn on its side and drop down. It will never fall inside of itself. Where a square one or any other shape, you can go corner to corner and it'll fall down through.
Yeah, but that would not. Yeah.
Yep. So it's to help prevent it from ever falling through. So I've got. Okay, go ahead. What is it?
Well, I'll wait.
Okay.
Done with yours. Just leave one extra.
All right.
You have another ridiculous.
Yeah, I do. I do have one. All right. If you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be?
Cherry blossom.
Isn't that just a cherry? Is it a cherry blossom tree?
Yeah, they have the flowers. Number 1, they smell pretty. Number 2, they stand for renewal and hope. And I actually have a bunch of cherry blossoms tattooed on me.
Well, that struck out on that question. She's like, bam, I already know this. I wrote a book
I already
on
know that. It stands for renewal and strength and hope. And they're really pretty. They're those pink, like what you associate with Japan and those cherry blossom festivals, those pink flowers. And they smell amazing, too.
Right.
Give me your question.
Mine's.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
How does she deal with family and friends telling them? Did she sell things to family and friends, and how does she handle that?
I don't know if you heard that, but she asked, do you have family or friends request, hey, I have this, you should sell it for me?
No. Does she sell?
Do you sell for family or friends, or how do you handle that situation?
To them or give them?
We have only ever been asked by one person, and we do it for her on the regular, and that's Keith's sister. She brings us bags of clothes and lets us just deal with it, and when it sells, we give her like 50%. And she knows that sometimes it might take long enough that she's only going to get $1 or $2. Sometimes she gets $50, like when she brings us her Hot Topic clothes. She brought us like those trip pants, new with tags. And then with my kids, especially the younger one, he likes to do it more. They are allowed to go sourcing with us, and anything they pick that I approve, and they're actually really good at sourcing. They definitely have paid attention and learned what to source. My 15-year-old is as good at plush as I am. Anything they pick, they have to help get it prepped and ready to be listed, and I'll list it, and then they get 50%. So other than people I gave birth to and Keith's sister, would be a huge no, just because of the complications it can bring up. But my own kids, and they're working for us, that's how they get paid. And then his sister's so chill about it. So, but I would have to say no to everybody else because I've heard horror stories.
Yeah.
So that's
that'd
be my advice to people too. Like if you have a friend that comes to you and says, I have 100 pieces I want to get rid of, can you consign them in your eBay store? Just give her an offer on the 100 pieces and buy them outright.
You see, Emily, we've had people approach us, and Emily goes, here, let me do this. Let me teach you how to sell on eBay. I'll teach you how to do it, and you do it yourself.
Yeah, you could do that, especially us who have YouTube channels. They could just.
Yeah. Be like, yeah. By the way, guess what? Here's my business card.
And they don't.
All right. So I see. I'm going to improvise this question here because I see you have a Harley Quinn T-shirt on today, and I love Harley. And it's not because of the whole Margot Robbie BS. I didn't like that one bit. I didn't think she did a very good job in the role. That's my personal opinion. But in the comics, what is your take on? I doubt you. There's a specific comic I'm thinking of right now where Harley doesn't realize that she was the first Harley. Are you familiar with that by chance? With that, what is your take on that?
Reading that. I don't really have I just like everything Harley. I read the New 52.
Yes, it is part of the New 52.
I do like Margot Robbie's interpretation. I've liked Harley since I was a little girl, back when she looked like a jester and called him Puddin'. I don't really. I like it. I can't say I didn't. I love everything from old Harley to new. I prefer old, but.
But real quick for the people watching who aren't aware, and I want to say it's part of the New 52, Joker and Harley, they're a couple. The issue is he's manipulative, he's, sociopath, and she, something's happening, and he goes, well, she goes, you can't live without me, and he's like, live without you, you're not even the first Harley, and he throws her into this, dungeon with, 40 other dead, rotting Harleys. It was pretty messed up.
Yeah, but
really,
then she went to that Comic-Con and they showed her in a bit of a position with 50 different Jokers.
Oh.
Yeah, they broke up for a little bit in one of the episodes. So she's like, well, I'll just get Joker any way I can. And she had, I can't use the word on a family-friendly channel, but it has to do with a lot of people at one time.
Yeah, do you have a link to that? Can you drop a link in the description box for me?
I think it was one of the very first episodes, so I'll go through my comics tonight and let you know which one it was.
Absolutely.
It was so long ago, 2 or 3 years, that I remember, because I always read them once when I get them new, and then I bag and board them. See, I'm a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
But I only read them one time, and it's really carefully. I don't want to get you know what I mean? Then they get put up. But I'll find it. Because she was at a Comic-Con, and she was in a hotel room with 50 Jokers. And I believe it was Poison Ivy that came in and was like, what the heck are you doing? It was crazy. Harley, if you guys don't know, Harley the Joker definitely is a very dysfunctional, abusive relationship on both sides. Physical, mental, psychological. It's a very unhealthy relationship, but it's so fun to read about.
Are you ready for your final question?
Sure.
How many square feet of pizza are eaten each year by the U.S.?
Square feet versus feet.
Yes.
What'd you say? I'm cheating.
I said it's got to be
Probably 10.
My son said 1 million.
All right, so before I give you the answer, every time I get a serious question that has to do with numbers, I think of the SpongeBob episode where they're trying to buy a new mattress for Mr. Krabs, and they're in this mattress. They're just piled to the ceiling, thousands and thousands of mattresses. And SpongeBob's like, how many mattresses do you think are in here, Patrick? And he looks around. Probably about 10. That's so if you ever ask me a question about numbers and I start giggling, that's why, because probably about 10.
Probably
That's
about
2.4 billion square feet.
Wow, that is a lot of pizza.
That is a lot of pizza. And I know that was 5, but I messed up, and I had one more serious question for you, if that's okay.
Okay, that's my serious piece.
All right. Trying to find that. Okay, right here. So, where do you go from here? And what I mean by that is, are you just going to stay doing what you're doing, selling online? Are you looking at possibly a storefront, any other avenues, any other sites that you may not currently be a part of? do you have, what's in the plans for you and your family?
Well, first of all, we have to get Keith on, so we have to work towards that goal. We're huge followers, believers, and listeners of Dave Ramsey. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, do yourself the biggest favor you will ever do in your life and find him, listen to him. So we need to save up 6 months to a year of, monthly expenses. And I think he says just to do your bills for the cushion, but we're including our movies that we like to go see or eat out. We want like a year's worth of money before he quits his
Mm-hmm.
So right now we put most everything back into building the business and this nest egg that we're building. And when we reach that goal, he can quit his job. And then we plan on expanding into probably more hard goods, electronics, vintage, things that we can try to find wholesale from online sources, things that we can travel to find, like vintage hard goods and stuff. But the situation we're in right now, where he's still working outside of the house, I'm disabled and can't really source on my own. And the items we have available to us in our area, we really just do stock up on as many 99-cent pieces of clothes as we can, and we built the volume-based business around that to get him out of work. And then once he's got that freedom, we can start looking for sources for more electronics, maybe pallets of hard goods, maybe a wholesaler, maybe travel out of this area to find better hard goods and vintage stuff. And I think the plan originally was to expand to Amazon, but I don't know, because I'm sure you've heard the horror stories lately, how they're cracking down on this.
I literally just talked about this in my group. I am terrified of Amazon. I want to. So I've got a whole stockpile of stuff that I want to send in, but I have heard every horror story, and then with everything that's going on that I keep hearing in the other groups, I'm just thinking about listing it either locally or on eBay where it's still relatively safe and not, new and scary. You know what I mean?
Well, what we have found with like massive feedback, sorry. We sold the phone once, like parts of repair. And they were able to return an item not as described. How you do that, I don't know.
How? I've never even heard. That's crazy.
So we sold it in the category for parts of repair. They opened an INAD, not working.
There shouldn't be allowed to be INADs on that.
8 phone calls later, and we have concierge service, by the way. So 8 phone calls later, we had to take it back. So what we do now is we either sell most locally, we sell like 90% of our stuff locally, electronics wise, or we list them with free returns, and when they return them, they get 50% back. And you, dude.
Gotcha.
Because you can keep money back. So when they buy a phone for parts and they return it on the free return, we can say they opened it up and it's not worth money and getting 50% back.
Yeah, I don't get how they can claim it doesn't work on a parts or repair item when you say it doesn't work. But
yeah, I see Fred's comment, but my concern with Amazon isn't not following the rules. It's, let's say I go to this place and get a bunch of stuff and list it on Amazon. That receipt is not going to be good enough for them because it's not a wholesale receipt, and that's what they want to see. So it's not, Amazon is not difficult. Keith and I are very intelligent people. We have no problem following the rules. I mean, we've come from nothing on eBay to power sellers and volume sellers.
Yes.
But it's just Amazon wants receipts a lot. They're cracking down on a lot of stuff. And if you don't have the right kind of receipt that the big box stores have, and you're just a small person with your, I went to Joe Bob's salvage yard and bought 3 car engines.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for Amazon, and you can get suspended. And then the couple of times we've listed new on there, The stupid buyers on Amazon are worse than the buyers on eBay. I'm telling you, they are trained to be horrible people. They opened our brand new printer. It was a Dymo. Said they couldn't get it to work because they were too stupid to read instructions or figure out how to hook it up to their computer. And they sent it back, and then we had to sell it used on eBay for a lot less.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I talk to Jamie Pace every single day in some way, shape, or form, whether it's in a group or private messages or texting. And I don't know. I'm not saying we would never do Amazon, that we wouldn't try it, but I hear so many bad things about it, and I've had nothing but bad experiences with it. So I shouldn't even say Keith does all of our Amazon. You can hold restocking fees if you're big enough to do that, Fred. If you're still small and you're building it up, you can't. Your account cannot. What's the word I'm looking for, Tim? Absorb it. You have to build up.
Yeah, let's go with that word.
Yeah, you have to be able to absorb it. Like on eBay, we have so much positive feedback that when someone threatens us anymore, it's like, give us one. We don't care. But when you're new, it's much more detrimental on Amazon. You can get suspended for, I believe Fred and everything he's saying. I know he's very successful. By the way, we're almost at an hour. So if you guys have questions, throw them in the chat. Questions for me, questions for Tim, questions about reselling or the price of tea in China. We don't care. Open floor, throw in questions. But yeah, Fred, your account's big enough and you've been around long enough. Just, remember when you were Jenny from the block, when you were new, when you were trying to build up. And things are different.
Jenny from the block.
Yeah, I'm still Jenny from the block. Yeah, that's what Jamie says, but I don't know. If Keith wants to continue on this Amazon path, more power to him. Love you. Go make some money. But I'll stay over here on Poshmark. Thank you. Hey, Savvy Seagull, welcome in. So you guys, if you have any questions at all, you can throw them in the chat. They can be trivia. They can be this or that. They can be about hippos. I don't care. Speaking of,
I just sent you something. Did you see it?
No.
Just take a second and see it. So Emily we want to ask you and the people watching, if you know, do you have any idea how expensive Bert the farting hippo is?
I don't know, but if there's a hippo that farts, this is something I need in my life.
She doesn't know what this is.
You don't know who Bert is from NCIS?
No, NCIS is
Bert
like
the farting hippo
I've ever watched.
I told you during the first video we did together that I've had my eye out for one. I've been trying to find one cheap enough to buy you, but they're like $50 to $80 a piece.
Bert the farting hippo.
Yeah, I think he's technically considered a puppet.
No,
I thought
it is a huge puppet.
Yeah, it's huge, but I think it's considered a puppet. Is what everything online said. Is it the right one? It's probably. Let's see.
That's what he looks like.
From China. Yeah, $18.99 plus $2.99 shipping.
Does that look like the right one?
No.
No. Here, I will. Give me 1 second. I'll pull it up for you, where you can see.
Tim, do you have any success selling your clothing boxes the other night?
We did. We had one person who asked to. They said that they wanted it, but they asked to remain anonymous. They didn't want me to share who they were. So obviously, I'm going to honor that.
All right. Well, while we wait for a couple questions to come in, I want to point out to everyone in the chat that Tim does have a Facebook group that is centric to vintage and antiques. That's what the group is about. I'm in the group. I don't participate in it a lot. I stalk it and I read a lot in there. I'm probably in there more than Tim even realizes. It's how I learn, by stalking. That sounds bad. I learned from stalking.
I learned where Emily lived.
But yeah, the group, people are always posting pictures in there of what they sold, what they found, asking questions. So even if you're shy, I would say join his Facebook group because you can still learn a ton of information just by lurking. So the link to his Facebook group is in the description box. If you have any interest in learning about antiques or vintage, or if you're already an expert and you want to be with like minds, there's kind of like both of those types in the group. Follow him.
Shy waiting for the experts.
There's people in the group that to me would be considered experts.
Yes, definitely, 100%.
Yeah. So the link to his Facebook group is on there. Join his group. The link to his Instagram. Follow his Instagram. And his YouTube channel's down there as well. So you guys can subscribe to him and watch his videos. He does a lot of really great videos about some of these antiques and vintage, like your one on uranium, which I did watch, and I need to watch it probably 2 or 3 more times before I understand what's going on, but that's okay. You got to learn however you have to learn. Some people learn from reading or watching a million times, right? And then join our Facebook group too, guys. Don't forget us. Our Reselling Hippo pod group is just really chillax. It's just a bunch of resellers having fun and helping each other learn about all things. I would say it's probably plush and jean centric just because of who I am. But there's Kim's in there, so we talk about everything.
I haven't been booted yet, guys, so they let some stuff slide, but it might just be me.
Well, the other live show last week, Sunday, when I was by myself, I was saying about how our group is so nice and positive atmosphere and everyone's really good to each other. And after the show, Keith's like, but you didn't tell them you let a troll in because Jamie's in there.
Jamie just started trolling in my group, too. I'm like, come on.
He's actually
I had to delete a couple of the things he put up.
He's a moderator in my group.
Nice.
But yeah, so make sure you follow Tim's group. A lot of really great people that I've met in the reselling community, I met in Tim's group, and now they're really big players in my group that help out with things I don't know about, like vintage. And there's a lot of book experts in that group too. So if you're into books, if you're a bibliophile or a book nerd like me, I don't know. I learn a lot in your group, and I feel like, for the most part, your group's pretty positive as well. With, like, you know how some groups are really mean?
First of all, you take my people again, my good people. I swear to you, I will come to you.
Donna
Last I found out you're living in Arizona, so I'm going to go there first and follow the breadcrumbs, okay?
I'm in Pittsburgh, bro.
I know. But I got to track you from Arizona there. I'll find contacts, all right? I'll work my way over.
Or just show up and open.
But then I gotta follow you back on a plane, and there's a TSA to worry about, and
yeah. No, I only stole Donna, really.
What was that?
Donna, I'm gonna butcher it if I say it. Swarovski.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like her a lot too, Emily. She's great. But yeah, it's a pretty good group. I would say follow and subscribe to his subscribe to his YouTube channel.
I'm going to say we do a lot of giveaways in our group. I think that's one of the things, like when we started, I didn't ever think we'd grow fast. We started our group last September, and we just hit we're just shy of 4,700 members, and I did not expect it to go that fast. So I'm like, every 250 members, we'll do a giveaway. And then within 2 weeks, we're at 1,000 people. I'm like, I can't afford this. Stop. So we changed it to every 500 new members. we're doing a giveaway. And what we do is we do a mystery box. We throw a bunch of stuff in it, stuff we source to sell for ourselves, but we'll go through and we'll comp everything. We'll write up a sheet with the prices on it, with what we value it at, with, you know, shipping included, to where after fees, after shipping, you should profit $100. That's our $100 mystery box. And we ship those out about twice a month because, you know, I'd say that's about where we're at, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Sometimes 3 times a month, but 2 to 3 times a month, we send out one of those boxes to somebody in our group. And it's not, all you got to do is be a part of the group and participate in the giveaway that we are doing at that time.
You could be alert the rest of the
You
time.
can be a lurker like Star and do nothing other than try to get in on the free crap.
I'm not there for the free crap. I'm there for the free knowledge. Holly says, just call her Book Donna. That's how I think of her in my head. She's Book Donna. You wanted to talk about a charity you're doing real quick, too?
Yes. Well, I'm running a little fundraiser in my group. My goal isn't anything special. I'm hoping to hit $200. I'm leaving it open until Sunday. There is Emily and I, we're huge pet lovers. You know, one of our aspirations we've talked about is opening up our own nonprofit to help with, you know, strays and feral animals in our area. Well, there's this one that helps out with trapping feral cats and getting them spayed and neutered and then relocating them to, you know, neighboring farms as mouser cats, and also helping with low-income families get their pets spayed and neutered. And I just saw a post up saying that since January 1st, they'd spent $11,000 neutering and
now, mind you,
fixing.
We are extremely small.
Yeah. So they spent $11,000 just on cats and another $8,000 on dogs. So they spent almost $20,000 since January 1st assisting getting cats and dogs spayed or neutered. And this is just a very, very small community. You know, it's just one county that they serve. So that much money, I mean, $200 would help. If I remember right, we'd be able to get 10 cats spayed or neutered. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but those 10 cats, after like 3 generations, it's in the thousands of cats that you're preventing from being born. We're big animal people, like I said. And so if you guys want to jump over there, I mean, even a couple bucks helps out to reach that goal. We'd really appreciate it.
Yep. The cats have big litters, guys, and they have more than one. So however many you can keep from reproducing is good in my book. I'm a big cat lover. We don't have any cats because Keith does not like them, so that I have hamsters. But I like all animals.
Stop barking.
I'm getting a chinchilla for Christmas. So I'm going to name
You're getting a chinchilla?
I actually want to get 2 so I can have Pikachu and Raichu.
That's cool.
I'm a nerd.
Did you snort? Did you really just
snort?
Snort?
When I really, really, really get to laughing, more so off camera, I do snort a lot. I do. I try not to snort on camera, but people who have met me in real life can attest that if you could get me laughing hard enough, I sound like what's the guy on Nerds when he's like I am a huge dork. I don't even try to pretend that I'm not. So you guys go ahead and join the group. Help out with the cats if you can. Follow him on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Flippin' Hippos across all social media. Give this video a like before you leave. It does help the channel. It helps the video be seen. It helps the channel overall. And before we take off, I will remind you again one more time to join my Facebook group as well. All of these links are down in the description box for your convenience. And I'm going to ask Tim, I have to get up to turn this video off. So before I do that, I want to say thank you so much to all of you that came in tonight and hung out with us. Time is money in our business. So any time that you give me is super awesome. And thank you again, Marie, for the super chat of $10. That is 1,000% appreciated. You guys are the best subscribers on all of YouTube. I don't care what anybody says. You guys are the best. And I absolutely love you guys. You are wonderful. I have to get up to turn this off. So while I do that, Tim, I'm going to ask you if you have any words of wisdom to share with them. And then when you're done, you can say bye, and I will cut the feed.
I absolutely will. So everybody knows that kiss was directed at me, not you. I just wanted to make that 100% clear. Words of wisdom would probably be colloquialism, unilaterally.
Okay. Trousers,
That was the only good ones I could come up with. Bye, guys.